In this episode, we talk about accountability during Lent, what books to read, and tithing. Hello and welcome to episode 7, 5, is that right? 5, 6, 7 of
7.
Ask, was that good? Of Ask Young Church, hashtag Ask Young Church, where we answer your questions. I don't have my cards. Grab my cards, quick. There you go. And the permanent marker. I'm not prepared. We're going to answer your questions, so here we go. We're going to jump right into the questions right away. Sean Romer, oh, quick, let me find his card. I'll edit this out. Sean Romer asks, here's this thing. How can I keep myself accountable for making sure I absolutely step away from what I'm giving up for this Lent? How can I keep myself accountable?
Well, I think that goes hand in hand with just keeping the faith. It is impossible to keep the faith by yourself. You need community. Find a men's group, or if you're a girl, find a women's group. Let them know what you're giving up. Be vulnerable with them. Have them keep you accountable. Say, I need you to ask me how I'm doing with this. And then in turn, you call them on as well. Can't be just one-sided.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think you got to put some skin in the game. I think that always works. Like if you just keep it private, it's a lot easier to give yourself, a little bit of a pass. Like, I just don't have to do it today. So if you put something out there publicly, or if you tell someone like, hey, if I fail on this thing, here's what I want you to do. Like, you know what you should do?
Slap me in the face.
You know what you should do? You should take a embarrassing photo of yourself and text it to someone you trust, and say, look, if I break this,
you can post this.
You can post this anywhere you want. Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Next question. Next question from Brooke. Brooke asks, what is a must-read for a recent convert to the church who is critical to understanding the faith outside of the Bible and the Catechism? So the Bible and the Catechism would be a good place to start, but she asked for, what's yours now?
I would say this one, 4 witnesses. It goes over Clement of Rome, Ignatius of Antioch, Justin Martyr, and Irenaeus of Lyon. And it's a good look into the early church. And I would recommend it to maybe not like the, initial conversion person, but someone who wants to go deeper. I would definitely do this. But then also getting into those Vatican documents too. Fides et Ratio would be a good thing to look at as well, especially if you're looking for just more like intellectual stuff about the faith.
And she said, I want a little more context in this, Brooke, so if you can maybe provide a little more details, but it says someone who's critical to understanding the faith. So I was taking that, that was a good answer, and I think I want to approach it too from, what about someone who just doesn't really want to learn the faith too much? I would say if you could find something a little more like allegory maybe, that might be a good read, like, I don't know, Chronicles of Narnia, if this is a younger person, or The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton was really great, something like that. But then at first, I was thinking someone who's maybe hostile to the faith, but it says a recent convert, but I would definitely say The Case for Christ by Lee Strobel is pretty interesting, and this guy, this journalist goes through and investigates what is the case for Christianity, and he was expecting as an atheist that there wouldn't be much case for it, and it turns out like there was a huge historical case for the Christian faith, and then he eventually converts. So it's a really, really good book.
I'll read it with you.
Boom. Next question is from Sean, or I think this was supposed to be anonymous. Dang it. Well, this is from Sean, and we'll just keep it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Read it. The next question.
The next question is from an anonymous person.
Yeah, very lovely person.
This person said, my friend was telling me that he doesn't like the Catholic Church because tithing might not be something that God would approve of. What do you think about this, Nick?
This is very difficult. I don't have the biblical representations of these things.
This would be my best foot forward on this answer, right? If someone were to say, God wouldn't approve of tithing. So tithing would be someone donating some of their goods, their possessions, their time, talent, or treasure to the church, right? Mm-hmm. I would say a lot of times we look at tithing, and even when we talk about tithing in the church, people are saying, we need your money so that we can do these good things for the church. We need your money so that we can build this thing or whatever. And I want to kind of flip it. You know, in the Old Testament, Abraham comes back from this big war and he has all these spoils and all of this stuff, right? And he finds this priest Melchizedek. And Melchizedek actually represents this kind of like priest figure, and Abraham goes out of his way to take a tenth of his spoils and give it to the priest so that the priest could take that and then offer it up as a worship. And I actually think we could flip it and say, you know, the church gives you the opportunity to worship God by tithing. It's not so much that like you have to tithe so your church comes to you and like, please tithe so we can do these things. In fact, I would flip it and say, you're lucky that you have a church that gives you the opportunity to worship God with your money. Because how else would you do it, right? Maybe you'd go out on the street and like give your money to a good cause, which is a good way to worship God with your money. But the church actually gives, like, you give your money to the priest literally, and the priest takes that act of worship, which can happen every single Sunday. So I would say, the biblical understanding of tithing is like, yes, support people and it's an act of charity, but also like you're given an opportunity to worship. And the church so much like I think as a church we need to stop saying please tithe and more say we're going to give you this opportunity right now, which is amazing to tithe.
Yeah.
Boom. You got does that get a bell ring? All right. We need your questions. This is like, I'm trying to do this every day during Lent. Look at me, I'm sweating, I'm like profuse. Like, this is hard, okay? And I don't know if we can make it all the way through Lent with we have some questions. We could answer more questions every episode if we had more questions, you know? So you can put your question anywhere. You could mail it to us, you could write it on this window here, but hashtag Ask Young Church, and you can put it anywhere. They could be serious or funny, they could be it could be hard questions. I think we could start amping up the difficulty of the questions, I think.
Yeah, Edmund will take those.
Yeah, I'll take those. So send us your questions, and we'll see you next time. Anything else? Anything else you want to announce? Anything you want to announce to the show?
To not announce anything.
Okay. We'll see you next time. Ask Young Church.